Welcome back, guys. Luke with Premium Aquatics here. This is the tank series. I've got a box. Just showed up on the door. Fresh. You're just in time. This one, I need gloves. I need my knife. Let's open this up. Let's go. Alright. So, we're not going to go over everything that's in here. This is a big box. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't apply to you. Stay out, mind your own business. But there's one thing in here that I'm very excited for. So, let's open this up a little carefully so I don't rip anything in there. We have some Kohler DI resin. This is exciting to try this out. Supposed to be amazing. I've had great feedback on it. The quality and the specs on this is phenomenal. So we'll try that out eventually when I need it. Bubbles, algae cleaners. Here it is. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, rest is nothing. Okay, so buddy of mine down in Florida, Zuriel, thank you, Z, has been kind enough to help us and shipped us some algae. So, had my buddy ship me some of it. I'm excited. Well, the rest of this also is not necessary. Bam. Look how flat that thing is, man. So this is, you still can't even tell, Chaeto. Chaeto, can you see that? Is that close enough? Bam. Look at that. Holy cow, that looks good. That is some bright, vibrant green. Looks phenomenal. That's what our gloves are for, because I have this Chaeto, and they are known to get pests. And I say pests very lightly because I'm talking bristle worms. And they can become a nuisance. However, they're not always a nuisance. They are detritus eater, so they are and can be a great thing in a system until you become overrun with them. Then, yeah, okay, I'll give it to you. They can become a nuisance. They can become a quote-unquote pest. So, I've been bitten by them, and I say bitten by them many times. I don't like it. It's not fun. Takes forever to get all those stupid bristles out of your hand, and I don't want to deal with it again. So that's why we're wearing gloves. But this algae looks beautiful. Man, that stuff, look at that. That is a nice, bright, vibrant green. Looks really healthy. Smells like algae. What more could you ask for? You smell that? Oh, man. So I'm going to just break it up a little bit here. I'm going to get it into the tank here. I just want to go through it real quick. You know, I'm just doing my due diligence. I don't want to be too cautious and maybe something's gotten in it that I don't want. But look at this. Here, what I tell you about. Warned you, bristleworm. That guy right there is a bristleworm. And as small as he is, he's got needles that will make you cringe and make you cry. So, gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. And obviously, with anything that we put in our tank, I'm not getting rid of him. I want him. I've got some, but I'm not overran with them. I'll worry about that later if I do. I'm not concerned. But like always, we want to do inspections on what we're putting in our system. Make sure we're not getting anything that we shouldn't be. You obviously are going to take that risk when you put something in your system, especially when you're getting clumps of algae that could have stuff in there. So be very careful, be very cautious, you know. Wouldn't be a bad idea if you have a secondary tank somewhere, you know, a quarantine tank, to throw it in there first. Make sure it's nice and good and makes it, you know, you're good to go and add it into your system so you aren't having a possibility of introducing something that you don't want in there. So, you know, I trust my friend. He has a beautiful system. His tank is gorgeous, so I trust that, you know, the algae that he's offloading by the bucketful, you know, is good, and he's had great success with it. It looks gorgeous. For the most part, it's very clean, very healthy, very vibrant green. I'm really excited to get this in there. So I'm going to clump this back together, and we're going to take a look at it and get it in the system. This is awesome. I have the Algaes. I'll show you down here in a little bit. The Fern Culerpa has been doing great. It's growing very long across the front. The Grape Culerpa is, of course, going to do well. I still have the Ulva Lettuce. Not really growing much, but it's been staying still, so that's been doing very well. So I've been very, very happy with it. Overall, the Algaes have been doing great. The only algae that really cut back was the Gracilaria. And that could have been also because of just my tank and not really having all the nutrients that I possibly needed for it. So always wear gloves, guys. You can't, I mean, that bristleworm, he's tiny, but you wouldn't have seen him. You know, if you would have went and just grabbed this, very possible you wouldn't have seen him, and you would have been, you know, doing the super glue trick to try and get it out, duct tape, anything to try and get that out of your, back out of your hand, you know, because it's not fun. It's not fun. So use gloves, make sure you're protected. We're going to get this ball, and we're going to put it in the sump and get this rolling. I'm gonna do a little rinse on it just to be safe, and then we'll get this in the tank and then check it out. Stay tuned. Can't take them off yet. All right, as you can see, the lovely Refugium section. I've got, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 different types of algae in here. Let's run through them here real quick. You can see the Chaeto in the back here is looking phenomenal. For the most part, it stays in this area and kind of tumbles as the water comes through. The water level is high right now because I did add some water here a little prematurely. So it'll come down, and as my waterfall gets a little larger, this actually tumbles really nicely, which is kind of nice to have that, so it's not just sitting stagnant. Like I have a little clump over here that you can kind of see it's up against the baffle wall, which I'm okay with it being there. I just got to watch it and make sure it's not messing with my flow too much or anything of that nature. So going through the algae we have in the center, Chaetomorpha, one of the most popular and easy growing algae. Works phenomenal. Doesn't attach to anything, really sits just kind of free flowing there. It can easily take over this entire sump and grow, where I'm just having to prune and prune and prune and prune. And that is something you want to be cautious of as well. Not really cautious, but one thing that you want to manage. This is not something normally that you're just going to let it go and you'll never have to do anything with it. You do want to be careful with it. And as things grow, possibly prune it back, especially if this thing were to get way overrun with algae. You know, I'll need to prune it back and get rid of some of it. Kind of like Z, who sent this to us. He's pruning his sump almost weekly by weekly, that we were able to get some from him. So really nice, but you know, it is beneficial to prune that back as you need. Down here, we already knew about this. This is the Fern Culerpa. Has been doing phenomenal in this system, actually. Not growing a ton, but I had a little clump that started over here. You can see the other fern over here, and it attaches exactly like the Grape Culerpa. And I don't know if you can tell here, but essentially what we're doing is it puts out little feelers, and it attaches to the sides, the sand, anything it wants to. You can see all the little pieces that go down into the sand here, and attaches onto it, and then keeps growing and makes its way. Just kind of like the Grape Culerpa, which is right here, does as well. It's doing phenomenal. It's growing back towards the Ulva, which is this green lettuce that you'll see right here. It's not grown a ton, but it's doing great. That is really thick, nice green Ulva lettuce. I've been actually very happy that I haven't lost that, because I've tried it in the past and I didn't have success with it. So that's doing really well. And then down here we have some, I think that is Luarencia, the red algae. I've got a little more of it growing here. A lot of that trimmed back and I lost. And then what's stuck to the rocks and here in the sand has actually done pretty decently and stayed alive. I did have Gracilaria, which, as I said, has really kind of cut back. I'm really happy with the way that these are working, the way these are growing. It's going to continually grow as our tank progresses and as we get more fish, more corals, more, from the feeding that I will have to continue to do, this will increase. So it's going to, help me keep tabs of those excess nutrients that are going to be floating around in my system and taking them out naturally for me. All right, guys, that's it for this week. Algae, it's important. It can play a vital role in your system, especially if you have a lot of excess nutrients. It's not a bad thing to grab a clump of this, get a softball size, football size clump, throw it in your system, get it going, and really get it churning out some nutrients for you. So we'll see how this does for me. I'll report back. Obviously, as always, all the other algae that I got back, like I said, are doing great. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell, wherever it is, down here, I think, for the notifications. Make sure to stay update the most on this system, as well as our other videos we're putting out. And I will catch you later. Peace, guys.